Hey, thank you everybody for joining me today. I'm really excited to be here and kind of share my story and kind of give you some ideas and tips on how really a niche at the end of the day will kind of propel your business and how referrals are all tied up into that. So if you would permit me, I'm going to, start a little bit with my story. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Chris Matan. I'm with eXp Realty here in the Cleveland, Ohio market. Actually licensed since 1994, believe it or not. That is about 27, going on 28 years in this business. And, really loving every minute of it. I was one of those guys, like everybody, we all get into the business for different reasons, but, I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to kind of run my own thing. I was always around real estate as a kid growing up. And I thought it was kind of the easiest path to, kind of entrepreneurship, if you will. And my father was a business owner. So I saw him, come over from another country, kind of start with nothing. And I wanted that same path as he did. Obviously, I had a lot more benefits and a lot more, head start. But nonetheless, he was definitely my inspiration growing up. And, he dabbled in real estate and bought and sold different kind of properties, commercial properties, multifamily properties. My uncles actually were all janitors when they came over and slowly started buying buildings because they really were buying an additional job. They really, hindsight's 2020, but I figure that when they did that, they learned running other people's buildings and kind of saw the value in that, saw that as a vehicle. And it turned out to be obviously a really, really good investment. And it was what they knew. So a lot of those janitors that were picking up buildings in the 70s and 80s and just operating them like they were doing for other people, really became very, very wealthy. And if you look at some of the numbers that multifamily is being traded today, especially in the city of Chicago, it's pretty remarkable. So, God bless those guys. And that was the kind of the path that I saw. And so I was 20 years old when I got my real estate license. And the idea was that I would do some deals, make some commissions, and then buy a building and then kind of do it again. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I guess you would consider that a business plan. And my business plan, as simple as it was do some deals, earn some commissions, buy a building, do it again, buy another building, refinance, sell, flip. When you're in the multifamily space and kind of in a little bit in that commercial space, you are presented opportunities. And that's the key point here, is the opportunity that is available to you. And when you take advantage of those opportunities as a business owner or an entrepreneur, or real estate agent or broker, it leads you down certain paths. So when I first got licensed, multifamily was kind of in my brain to begin with. And what I learned was that multifamily is a great niche to be involved with for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's an easy conversation to have. So, in the real estate space and, all businesses, you gotta generate business, right? You got to talk to people, you got to find business, you got to lead generate, right? And, back in the mid 90s, and obviously before that, there wasn't internet. We didn't have internet. We didn't have internet leads. There was no Zillow or any of those kind of platforms where you could just pay somebody to give you leads, and then you do with those leads what you think you need to do with them. We had to kind of knock on doors. We had to do it the old way and get on the phone and find numbers from the phone book or the reverse directory, and make calls. So what I found was that the calls that I was making to specifically multifamily owners, it was an easy call because these are business people and they're in the business of real estate already. So they were very willing to share their story, share what they own, what they don't own, what they're looking for. It was kind of an easy pitch. And also what I learned was that the space was fairly small, especially when you're dealing with some bigger apartment buildings. You tend to talk to the same people. All the same people kind of float around. They're all the same investors and owners and managers and that kind of thing. So the more calls that you make and the more people that you talk to, and the more conversations that you're having, and repeating the conversations with the same people, you kind of get to know the space and you become known within the space. And that was the kind of the eye opener for me, was that I can call on, those days we were calling on for rent ads. So I'd go down the Chicago Tribune real estate section and I would look for, I pretty much look for obscure phone numbers. I wouldn't go for like a 5,000 number at the end there that looked like it was a business number, because then you're probably dealing with a management company. But if you dealt with some obscure number, you're probably dealing with the owner who's operating his own building and managing his own building and showing the apartments, and it's his sign out front with his phone number. I mean, there wasn't even, in those days there wasn't even cell phones, very predominantly. So a lot of that was landlines. You had to make the calls at night, and it was a little harder, but the conversations nonetheless were there, and it was easy to generate the conversation. It was easy to set the appointment, and meet people at their buildings, and then just start the relationship from there and grow from there. Because at the really what we're trying to do here as realtors is to build a database of people, right? And you do that by talking to them, getting their contact information. Maybe you're nurturing at this point, you're staying in touch with them by phone, by mail, by postcard, by email, what have you. But you also want to get that appointment. You want to get that face-to-face interaction as well, because there's nothing better than a face-to-face interaction. So that's the path. You get on the phone, you make the introduction, you get to the appointment, and you go there and you meet them. So when I was back in the day, when I was making these calls and setting these appointments, also what I figured out was that there was one party, or one person, client, customer, can own multiple properties. And they're always buying. They're always looking to buy or sell or do something. So my pitch back then was, I would call and I'd say, hey, this is Chris. You interested in buying any other buildings? And the canned response every time was the same. I'm always looking for a deal. I'm always looking for a deal. So, everybody's always looking for a deal, but, to really get in there, get the appointment, and have that communication, that dialogue open, and seeing really what they're looking for and what they want, because they may have a niche within themselves. Maybe they like that 2 to 4 unit space. Maybe they need to be over 20 units. Maybe they have a different underwriting criteria. They have to have a 6 cap or an 8 cap, or, I remember way back in the day, there was a guy that said, I want 5 times income, 5 times income. That was gross rent multiplier. Who's using gross rent multiplier today? 5 times, 5 times, 5 times. That's what he wants. So anyway, that's what I was doing, and I kind of got used to it. I enjoyed the space. I started purchasing buildings on my own, and because I understood the operation of it. I understood the operation of the building itself, how to manage it, how to manage the tenants, how to talk to tenants. And because of that, I was able to show buildings correctly, because you don't show an apartment building the same way necessarily that you're going to show a single family house or a condo, right? There's a little cadence to it. There's a you're demonstrating certain things. Do you want to end up in the basement? Do you want to start in the basement? Do you gotta engage with the tenants as they let you in, if they let you in. If they don't let you in, what do you do? How do you handle them? How do you handle the showing? Your client, when you knock on the door, they're supposed to let you in, and they say, no, screw you, I'm not letting you in. What do you do? So there's all those kind of things that you're not used to as as you're selling single family homes. So it becomes a thing. So I chose multifamily brokerage for a couple of those reasons. And then what I found is that from a referral standpoint, multifamily really kind of branches then out, because you're dealing with business owners 9 times out of 10. These are business people. They may have their own business. They may have other property. They may be buying and selling, different things. They have a circle of people. So to get that referral from a multifamily investor I think it's fairly easy. But to get a referral, there's 2 ways, in my opinion, in my experience, to get a referral. Number one is you have to give exceptional service. That's paramount. If you give exceptional service to your client, they're going to remember you. They're going to refer you. They're going to give you a good review. Today, we're living in a review society, correct? So giving exceptional service to your client is absolutely number one and paramount. Number two, you have to ask, right? That's the key. That's, I think, the point that a lot of people miss. Everybody wants to give and everybody arguably gives great service, right? But after the service is over, you got to stay, after the transaction or the deal is over, you got to stay in touch with your client. And over time, ask for business. There's nothing wrong with asking for business. That's why we're all in business, is to do business. So, you stay in touch by email or by phone call or whatever it is, and you ask for the business. Hey, what are you doing in the next 90 days? Hey, do you know anybody in your circle of people that's looking to do what you do? You perform pretty well on this investment. You think you want to buy something else? Maybe you want to refi, the rates are low. There's a million different conversations that you can have. But by providing that exceptional service, then leads you to staying in touch with the client, and it becomes an easy thing. You become a friend, right? It's a business relationship, but if you can create a friendship and a relationship along the way, that just that's what's going to grow your business. The best real estate agents and brokers in the business are the ones that have a solid referral base. Now, nobody's relying. There's some agents out there that rely solely on referrals, and God bless them, and kudos to them. But it's a pillar. It's a pillar of lead generation. It's a pillar of your business, and it's an important pillar. So, to kind of get back to the database piece of it, is as you're making your phone calls and you're prospecting and you're lead generating and you're adding to your database, you're doing transactions, but that database is your gold mine. And that's where you got to keep in there. You got to keep swimming in your database and stay in touch with your people. And that's where your referral business is going to come from. And it's really going to blossom. And just by being top of mind with people, they're going to end up calling you. And what you want to do is you want to be attractive to your people and attractive to the marketplace as the go-to agent for that specific niche. So I'm in the multifamily space. I hope that I'm considered within my people somebody as as far as an expert within the multifamily space, that people believe that I'm the one that's going to be able to get them the best money for their building or get them the best deal for their buy or whatever that all looks like. But the goal is to, number one, provide exceptional service, be that expert to the marketplace, including your database, and attract the business. That's the whole point. So if you're attracting and then also outbound calling, the combination, you become unstoppable with that combination. So I'm going to go back to referrals. I'm going to pivot a little bit and go towards referrals. There are three, in my opinion, there are three types of referrals that are in the real estate space. You've got sphere of influence, or we'll call them civilians, people outside of the real estate business, out of real estate brokerage, that will refer you business as the agent, friend, family, colleague, whatever all that is. By providing exceptional service, you imprinted you have a good impression with your client. Your client is then going to tell their friend, hey, you know what, talk to Chris, he's got a deal, or he's going to be able to help you out. He did a great job for me. That's a referral right there. Referral source number two is agent to agent. So by having a niche, you could arguably become that, and you brand yourself as that with that niche, and you become an expert with that niche. You become known within the marketplace and within your peers as somebody that can be relied on and a good resource to another agent. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've referred business out to agents that maybe aren't necessarily in my space, right? Maybe an industrial building or an office building or something like that. I feel like there's somebody else out there that can deliver better value than I can. So what I do is I partner with another agent, bring that agent into the deal, into the transaction, introduce them to the client, let their expertise drive the deal. And we're what are we doing? We're providing exceptional service to the client. And that's what we're trying to do at the end of the day. exceptional service. So to give up a little piece of your commission maybe, or to give a referral fee out to another agent who is really specifically in that particular niche, is going to come back to you tenfold, in my opinion. You want to have, when you're dealing with referrals between agents, you really want to have an abundance mindset. You don't want to have a scarcity mindset. When you have an abundance mindset, the universe will tend to work for you. And now all of a sudden you're building a relationship with this other agent. You're creating a team, essentially, right? Maybe not a team in the traditional sense, but a team nonetheless, by collaborating to give value to your client. So I'm in the multifamily space, like I've said 30 times already today. I apologize for that, but I get other agents contacting me saying, hey, you know what? I've got a client, they've got a building that they want to sell, or they're looking to buy a building. Can you help them? And my initial response is, yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that. I'm very grateful for the relationships of agents that I've built over the years. And, to be considered top of mind when it comes to that type of collaboration, I think is, it's something that I'm very proud of. And I think that's what's given me the success that I've gotten, is by collaborating with other agents, not being selfish, having an abundance mindset, giving as much as taking. It's all reciprocal. And just building my team and building my sphere of agents that I know that I can rely on. So referral source number 2 is agent to agent. Referral source number 3 is agent to brokerage, agent to company. So these relationships that I'm building with other people, these are great agents. These are great brokers. They're top of their market, top of their game, and I trust them. I would want to work with them, and I would want to introduce them to the company that I'm aligned with, for not only for my benefit and the company's benefit, but for their benefit. And that is a major piece that I think a lot of brokerages could possibly be missing. There is, and again, it kind of goes back to abundance mindset and scarcity mindset. The brokerages out there that put value into attracting agents to their company, or incentivizing their current agents to do so, recruit them to the company, is massive value, absolutely massive value. And the companies that aren't incentivizing it in an effective way are really, really missing out. And the ones that do are the ones that you're going to see are going to grow, because the business is in fact changing. And I think there's a stat out there that, so there's let's say there's 1.4 million realtors. And when I say realtors, I mean like National Association of Realtors. There's probably 2 million licensed real estate professionals. If you factor in commercial brokerages and stuff like that, there's probably 2.5 million, but 1.4 million of the NAR, National Association of Realtors. And the average agent is selling 3.7 homes per year. So what does that mean? The average agent is not making any money, is not using this as a career, and is not lasting in the business. The turnover rate of real estate agents, there could be 1 million agents dropping out and 1 million agents coming in every year. It's crazy the way that 80% of agents don't make it the first three to 5 years. So it's the ones that stick around and the ones that really treat their business as a business are the ones that are the ones that are succeeding. And so the point is that there's always people coming into the business. So there's always a new pool of people to be able to attract to your brokerage. And if you have a compelling value proposition from a brokerage standpoint that are not only going to attract new agents coming into the business, but experienced agents, call them capping agents, call them top producing agents, and you're incentivized to bring them over to your company, that could be an additional pillar of business for you. So it's a way that you can drive additional income, call it, arguably passive income, by attracting agents to your company. So that's referral source number 3, by getting referral fees from your company on the production that an agent does that you bring into the company, that's a referral, and that's a referral fee, and that's an additional pillar of income for you. So the first three, or the three sources of referrals are: number one, a client to agent; number two, agent to agent; and number three, agent to company. So the there is, the company that I'm aligned with is eXp Realty. And just to give you a tiny snapshot, when I joined, there were 19,000 agents. That was September of 2019. Today, we just crossed over 65,000 in, I believe, 19 countries. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that there is really exponential growth, and there is a specific reason why that's happening. Two reasons, really. Number one, there is a true financial alignment between agents within the company and are incentivized to help the company grow organically. And number two, the business is changing. The business model is changing. The brick and mortar is changing. The way brokers and agents work together, and the value proposition between both, and the cost and expense and all of that, whatever all that looks like, is changing really, really quickly. And eXp Realty is in my opinion, on the forefront. And that's why I made the move, because I saw the business changing. I saw eXp as the company that has embraced that change the most and is running with it. And the numbers don't lie. So instead of getting into the model itself, first, I wanted to thank everybody that joined me today. I really do appreciate it. To just take 30, 45 minutes out of your day to come onto a webinar and maybe pick up a couple of nuggets here or there from a tactical standpoint and a day-to-day operation standpoint is huge. So from that, I want to offer you, I will be offering my two scripts. I do use two scripts when it comes to multifamily prospecting. So if you do, when you registered for this, I'll link back up to you. I'll send those scripts to you, no problem. And then if you want to, stick around, what I'm going to do is, a buddy of mine out in California, he put a video together and really articulates the eXp business model and how the national platform with referrals and referring agents to the company and the kind of the borderless model is really compelling a lot of people to make this move. So he does a great job articulating the model. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen for a second here and play his video. It's about 17 or 18 minutes, and then we'll catch up after the end of the video.
What I'm going to share with you today literally changed my business, and it changed my life, and it may change yours too. I worked for years as a real estate agent for Christie's International Real Estate here in Manhattan Beach, California, and I was extraordinarily happy there. I loved it. I ran a great business, and I still do, selling about 50 homes per year with an average sales price of about $1 million per home. So one day, a friend of mine, Michelle, who's an agent out in Michigan, gives me a call and asked me to watch a presentation and evaluate a brokerage model that she was participating in. Now, I had zero intention of changing companies. In fact, I couldn't have been happier with where I was at, but I love learning new things, so I was happy to take a look at it. What I saw changed everything I had learned and known about the real estate industry in my 18 years as a real estate agent and broker. I learned that there's a massive disruption occurring today in the real estate industry. This disruption is a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate brokerage called eXp Realty. I was totally blown away by what I saw. So I brought the information on this new real estate model to a friend of mine within my company, a guy named Dave Caskey. I value his opinion because Dave leads one of the most successful real estate teams in the country, doing over $300 million in sales volume annually. Dave took a look at the model, and he was totally blown away too. So what we both saw was how innovative and radically different this model was compared to any company we'd ever seen before. In fact, once we saw it, we really couldn't unsee it. And we both decided to make the switch over to eXp Realty. So the question is this: what did a high producing agent like myself and an extraordinarily successful team leader like Dave, what did we both see that literally compelled us to join this revolutionary company? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with a little bit of background. Industries are transformed when disruptive technologies are introduced. Blockbuster is a perfect example. Blockbuster Video was a massive $5 billion company with over 9,000 brick and mortar stores. They completely dominated their industry, right? Netflix had no stores, but they came along with streaming video, and in a few short years, they put Blockbuster out of business. The same thing happened with the travel industry. Do you remember going to your travel agent to book a vacation or a cruise? Not anymore. Travelocity, hotels.com, and all the travel sites, they changed all that. The same thing happened with the taxi industry and Uber, and it happened in the hotel and accommodation industry with Airbnb. Airbnb doesn't own any hotel rooms. They're a cloud-based company. But maybe the most obvious example of industry disruption for most of us today is the retail industry and Amazon. There are thousands of brick and mortar stores that shut down every year, and Amazon is doing better than ever. So across the board, cloud-based companies have disrupted all these industries, and now that same industry-changing disruption has come to our industry. It's come to the real estate industry. eXp Realty is a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate company that has brought the most innovative changes we've seen in the real estate industry in over 100 years. The old traditional real estate brokerage model typically works like this. There's a big international company at the top. RE/MAX, Keller Williams, Century 21, Sotheby's. Then they divide the country into regions. Okay, so then there's franchises and broker owners, and then they have to hire managers and recruiters and office staff. And they have these big, fancy, expensive offices, and they're filled with copiers and phones and internet, and they have utilities to pay for, and on and on and on and on. There's so many expenses. And the agent is at the bottom of this massive pile of salaries and expenses, and the agent has to pay for all that with your hard-earned commissions. It's a top-heavy model, and it's just not sustainable. eXp Realty is the new model. It's a cloud-based, technology-driven real estate company that eliminates costly commercial office space because it's all in the cloud. And it eliminates millions of dollars of bloated expenses. All that freed up money now goes back to making the agents' lives and businesses better in two major ways. The first is that it's invested in providing the best agent business systems on the planet. And the second is that it puts more money back into the agent's pocket. That's you. At eXp, the agent is not at the bottom like the old model. The agent is at the top because we actually share in the ownership of the company. And we're backed directly by a multi-billion-dollar international tech company. When I worked for Christie's, I didn't own the company. In fact, when I worked for my old brokerage, and then I was exposed to eXp's innovative model of doing business, I realized that as long as I was working for my old company, it was like I was working for a Blockbuster store. It was really no different. And now by working with eXp, it ensures not only that you have a future in real estate, but that your future will be bright. Now, there's three major components that make eXp the model of the future. Okay, the first is our cloud office. It's a virtual office that allows you to work from anywhere. eXp World is a cloud campus that allows you to attend meetings and classes and collaborate with other agents. Now, if you've got a question for the broker, all you do is you walk into the office and ask. I used to have to call my broker, leave a voicemail, send a text, wait to get an answer. And now the level of support I get is like nothing I've ever experienced before. It's astonishing. What if you have a question about a commission check? Same thing, just go to accounting and you take care of it. Want to attend a class? There's over 50 hours per week of live education. And it covers tips on sales and listings. It covers lead generation, social media, CRM tools, and so much more. Let me ask you a question. How much education does your current company offer you? Because the amount of education at eXp, it's extraordinary. So every agent at eXp gets the most powerful CRM and lead generation platform available today. It's called KV Core. Now, non-eXp agents pay $600 per month for this service, over $7,000 per year. This system, it sends buyer and seller leads right to your phone. People that want to buy now, people that want to sell now. And KV Core is included for every eXp agent as part of their $85 monthly fee. KV Core is the industry-leading system that provides you with a personalized IDX website, CRM, email and text campaigns, squeeze pages, landing pages, and so much more. You also get SkySlope. Now, SkySlope is the top transaction management program available today. SkySlope allows every agent to manage their business in an all-in-one paperless system that helps you effortlessly stay organized with your transactions. What about marketing collateral? Well, the eXp Marketing Center has over 5,000 pieces to choose from. Everything you could ever want, whether you need a quick postcard, all the way up to a full presentation, it's all there for you. Basically, everything an agent needs to run an efficient, profitable business is provided for you. Now, if you do want to still go to a physical office, we've got you covered. You don't have to give up your office. Every eXp agent gets a Regis membership, so you can use any one of their thousands of flexible workspaces all over the country. The Regis spaces are beautiful. They're stocked with coffee and tea. There's receptionists there. You can rent a conference room to meet clients. They're really, really spectacular. And it's also a great referral source just by meeting and networking with other business professionals that also use the Regis shared workspaces. Okay, so the first major component to eXp is our cloud office, right? The second is the equity opportunities. Our agents have ownership in the company as stockholders. When I worked for Christie's, or if you work for Remax or Sotheby's or Keller Williams, you don't own the company. At eXp, we own the company together. eXp is a publicly traded, multi-billion-dollar company with zero debt. We're traded on the NASDAQ with Apple and Google and all the other big tech companies, and our ticker symbol is EXPI. When you sell your first home each year, you get stock in the company. When you reach your commission cap, you get stock in the company. When an agent you brought to the company sells their first home, you get stock. And if you're a top producer, we call it an icon agent, you can get up to $16,000. Your entire cap that you've paid to the company, you can get that back to you in the form of stock. There's even an agent equity program. It's totally optional, but it's amazing, where you can take 5% of your commission check and you can purchase stock at a 10% discount. Now, I've got a question for you. What do you think your financial advisor would tell you about buying stock at a 10% discount the day you buy it? I think they'd say it's a good thing, don't you? Okay, the third major component of eXp is their revenue share plan. Now, revenue share is very different from profit share, which is the Keller Williams model. Because after Keller Williams pays all of their expenses, if there's no profit, how much is there to share? Nothing. Revenue share, however, comes directly off the top. So when you sponsor an agent to join eXp and they sell a home, you actually get a percentage of that commission. And that percentage comes from the eXp portion of the split, not from the agent's portion. For example, agents you directly sponsor are in your first tier, and you receive 3.5% of their gross commission until they reach their cap of $16,000 company dollars. So the maximum revenue share that you can receive from an agent on your first tier is $2,800 per agent. If you attract 10 capping agents to the company, you earn $2,800 times 10, or $28,000 per year. Now, when you've attracted 5 producing agents into your first tier, it unlocks your tier 2, which are the agents your tier 1 agents attract to the company. So tier 1 agents are the ones that you personally attract. Tier 2 agents are the ones that your tier 1 agents personally attract, and so on and so forth. And it goes down for 7 tiers. Now, from tier 2, you receive 4% of the gross commissions from those agents until they cap, which is a maximum of $3,200 per agent on your tier 2. So you actually receive more compensation from your tier 2 than from your tier 1, because you've taken your eyes off of yourself and put it onto others. It's actually part of our culture within the company that we uplift and support others. It's called compensation for contribution. One team, one goal, one fire. As you attract more agents, you can unlock up to 7 levels or 7 tiers. So when you attract 5 agents to the company, it unlocks tier 2. When you attract 10 agents to the company, it unlocks tier 3, and so on and so forth until you unlock 7 levels. Listen, real estate is not an industry for the faint of heart. Real estate agents are some of the hardest working people out there, and many agents get completely consumed by their business. It's like they're on a spinning hamster wheel, a constant treadmill that they can never get off of. They're constantly searching for their next deal, and they can never, ever stop. Well, now with the opportunity to actually gain stock in the company, and the opportunity to build some residual income through revenue share, there's finally some tools to give agents a shot of retiring with dignity. I want you to write down a few numbers, okay? The first number is 2.35 million, okay? 2.35 million. The next number is 4%, and the third number is $94,000. So what do these numbers mean? This is what they mean. If you want to retire and you've worked really hard and saved and invested $2.35 million, not easy to do, but if you've done that, most financial advisors will tell you that you can actually take 4% of your investment each year to live on so that you don't erode your principal. Does that make sense? So let me rephrase that. If you have $2.35 million invested in the markets and you take 4% of that per year, you'll have a passive income essentially of $94,000 per year. Now, let's take a look at another way to arrive at that number of $94,000 per year in income through revenue share. With revenue share, if you attract 5 productive agents and those 5 agents do the same and they each attract 5, then you'll have 5 agents in your tier 1 providing you $14,000 and 25 agents in your tier 2 providing you $80,000 for a total of $94,000 in income per year. Now, which is easier, honestly, saving up $2.35 million and investing it, or sharing this information and attracting 5 productive agents? It's actually kind of amazing, isn't it? What if you attracted 10 capping agents and they did the same and they each attracted 10? Even if it took you 5 years to do this, you'd have 10 agents in your tier 1 and you'd have 100 agents in your second tier. Now, if they're all capping agents, that equals $348,000 per year or $29,000 per month income. Again, it's compensation for contribution. Now, let's be totally clear. Are all agents you attract going to be capping agents? No, of course not. And when you attract 10 agents, are they each going to attract 10 more? No. Some will attract 0. Some will attract 8. Some will attract 20. Participating in agent attraction is totally optional. You don't have to do it. You don't have to attract any agents if you don't want to, but it's just really nice to know that if you do have a friend that joins the company because of your recommendation, that you're going to get compensated for that. Listen, there's a whole host of reasons that agents join us at EXP. Some agents come to this amazing company just for the cloud office and the robust business systems so that they can actually sell more homes. Some come for all the amazing education that EXP offers, or the collaboration, or even the stock ownership or the equity awards. And some agents, they just come to EXP for the agent healthcare program, which is amazing. It provides US agents access to innovative and low-cost healthcare choices. And yet others just love the simple, low-cost fee structure, which is the following. Every agent in the company, every agent is on an 80-20 split with a $16,000 annual cap. So once you reach $80,000 in gross commissions, you've reached your $16,000 cap and you go to 100% split with a $250 per transaction fee. After you do 20 transactions at $250 each, you reach what we call icon status. That's when you can receive up to your entire $16,000 cap back that you paid to the company back to you in the form of stock. After that, your transaction fee drops down to $75 per transaction for the rest of the anniversary year. By the way, for agents that work in high-end marketplaces and don't do as many transactions customarily, the other way you can reach icon status and be eligible to earn your entire $16,000 cap back in the form of stock is to earn a gross commission, a total gross commission of $500,000 with at least 10 transactions. Back to the fees. There's a one-time $149 startup fee, which actually includes your first month's cloud brokerage fee. After that, the cloud brokerage fee is $85 per month to pay for all the systems. There's a $25 per transaction broker review fee to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And there's a $40 per transaction risk management fee that caps at $500 per year. You'll never pay more than $500 per year for E&O insurance. And that's it. The growth of this company is extraordinary. We're now at over 50,000 agents and it's growing every day. EXP is the largest independent company on the planet, and it's the fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. We're currently in the US, in Canada, in the UK, in Australia, and we just opened up in a whole host of other countries. We opened in Brazil and India and South Africa and Mexico and Portugal and France, and there's many, many other countries to follow. The growth is astonishing to watch. and the collaboration and support are amazing to experience. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. If you're not sure, share this video with your trusted friends and ask their opinion, just like I did. If you have any further questions, just go to our website at www.explainthemodel.com. There's tons of information there. You can give us a call. You can even schedule.
Where am I at? There we go. There we go. So anyway, I thought that he did a very good job explaining what eXp Realty is all about, the model itself, and why we really are indeed disrupting the industry and the reason for all of that growth. So eXp Realty and eXp Commercial is not necessarily for every agent out there, but the ones that are kind of growth minded and kind of entrepreneurial and kind of have a vision and see where the business is going. I think it resonates. It resonated with me after being in the business all these years. It didn't take me long to figure out that, that this was the path that I wanted to go on. And, quite frankly, I've ended up meeting some really outstanding, tremendous agents along the way that now I'm business partners with, because that is the key, to be financially aligned with the people that you're working with. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. It means a lot to me. Again, I know it's difficult to peel yourself away for an hour or so on a webinar, but I hope you did get some value in it. I will definitely be reaching out to any of you who had participated today and sending out my 2 scripts for multifamily prospecting. And hopefully you can implement that into your business, starting today, and I'll start making some money. If you guys want to reach me, you can always call me direct on my cell phone, 312-493-8171, or you can email me, text me, whatever's easiest. Have a great rest of the day, and then we'll catch up with you real soon.